2, 1. We have begun. It's 11 o'clock on the dot. Welcome to Creative Companions, where we're all believing mirrors for one another. I'm Kim. Showing up today as misguided painting. I have no clue what we're going to do. But we're going to talk about recovering a sense of autonomy. First we're going to meditate. Then we're going to create while I talk. For our creation process, we're just going to need a cardboard. This is the first one I saw today. Doesn't matter. There's cardboard everywhere. It's way too much cardboard. Don't go into the landfill with the cardboard. Use your cardboard to make something beautiful and heal yourself in the process. That's the point of Creative Companions. We're not here to create masterpieces, though we might. We are here to masterpiece together here in this now. We always start Creative Companions gatherings with deep breathing. So if you would, just start off taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. You can be moving about your space and gathering your acrylic painting supplies that you'll need. Paint, water, a palette to put your paint on, something to wipe your messy brushes on. I have my smock here. You might also grab a paper towel. Hopefully, we will continue to breathe deeply throughout this whole gathering. As together we go to our centers to masterpiece and create a little piece of art on our cardboard. So bring all the colors, bring whatever brushes you have. Bring your breath. We're just settling into this now. In a moment here, I will begin meditation. We're utilizing Julia Cameron's beautiful work, The Artist Way, written so many years ago. This book that I've used so many times. And if you've been traveling with me together, you know that we are on chapter 11 this week. And that chapter 11 is my favorite. Recovering a Sense of Autonomy is the title of this chapter. Take a deep breath. I'm going to continue to remind you throughout our gathering here to take deep breaths. It is our breath that brings us fully to the now. Good morning, Sam. I'm glad you're here. Let's see if I can, how do I make this so I can see the comments at the same time? There we go. There we are. So if you know me, you also know that I'm always looking for the next hidey hole. And here I found it tucked in between some houses with my brushes and this screen and, figuratively enough, this weed. There's a weed there beside me growing. And I know that the haters perhaps watch more than those who love me and support me. I grew up with Howard Stern, you know, back in the day. He knew. Keep it controversial, you know. Haters gonna hate, and they're gonna show up and pump your numbers up, whatever the hell that means. Anyway, free the weed. We're just seeds. We're just planting seeds here, and today we're gonna talk about, first of all, our base affirmation for Creative Companions, for the Artist Way. Treating myself as a precious object makes it so. Take a deep breath. Deep breathing, breathing in and out, is the first way you can signal to yourself that you are treating yourself as a precious object now. Imagine that deep breath is feeding every part of you, mind, body, spirit, in the absolute best way possible for you, your autonomous one. So it's my hope that you will continue to take deep breaths as we gather together here today. Try to keep this gathering within an hour's time, and we will start painting after the meditation. So I've chosen, I guess, to do the blank canvas meditation with you this day. And this is a eyes open meditation, a Zen meditation, where you take your cardboard. Here's another use for all the cardboard on the planet. So you take your cardboard and focus your view onto it. Let your peripheral view become blurry, if you will. If you wear glasses even, take them off and let the cardboard become blurry as you breathe. And practice the art of listening. We meditate to come to the present moment, to be here now, in this room, in this moment, in this body, breathing in and out. We feel our feet on the floor or any places our body touches the earth. We continue to breathe as we consider the blank canvas. Hold your canvas in your hands. Stare at the blank canvas. There's nothing there. It's a new thing. There's no thing there. It's a new thing. It's a fresh beginning. This moment, every moment, is a chance to begin anew. Breathing in, a calmer you. Each breath leads you to the next. Just as each stroke of the brush will take you to the next. There is no thinking necessary. As we silence the mind and slow the breath, we become more present now. Life, like art, happens moment to precious moment. Now we are relaxing, readying ourselves for the creative process. There is no need to be nervous. We just are here to have fun. Breathing in and breathing out. Grateful. Grateful for this moment, for this opportunity to create something new with all of you. This blank canvas, the one you're holding, is all you. Your autonomous you. Your individual new beginning. Consider this. Next breath. A fresh start. Breathe in. Breathe out. Just breathe in and out, slowing the breath for a few more moments here. You may leave your eyes open on the canvas or close them if you like, recognizing the blank canvas within, relaxing more, remembering that all is meditation and that the sounds that we hear around us do not overwhelm us, but help us to relax more as we focus solely on the breath and being submerged in the creative process. So here we are, together in this now, in this room, in this space, in this place, in your body, in your own self, free to just be here now, just be here with me now, as I guide you from my understanding, as we together do this creative thing. I'm grateful, I am grateful to be here now with you. So let's just stay in this space, in our bodies, with our eyes on our canvas, practicing the art of listening. Though we are doing this life thing together and we are all one, we each are an individual expression, autonomously creating from our knowing and from our own life experiences. We are each an autonomous one, a member of the whole one. Autonomy is a self-governing, this I looked it up in the dictionary. It's self-governing. It's independence in one's thoughts or actions. It's the ability to think, feel, and make decisions and act on our own. It's a deeply felt personal endorsement of our own actions. It's a belief in ourselves. It's a belief in ourselves as a work in progress, always in flow. You know, we not knowing where we go. Grab the biggest brush you brought. So mine's even wiggly. You know, we often don't do that creative project because we think we don't have the perfect things, and we don't have the perfect things, and I'm here to tell you probably never will. So you go from where you're at and you work with what you got. So I want to have some white paint to start with. We're talking about a sense of autonomy, the true you, a new beginning. So let's just put some white and some yellow, whatever white and yellow you have. No hurry, no worry as we go through the creative process. So much of our lives we're hurried through. You know, there's no need to hurry when you've just shown up to create something that's meaningful to you. So I got a little white and yellow on my palette here, and I always enjoy recognizing what shapes. They often look like birds to me, my paint blobs. This one definitely is a swan. Yeah, and this one over here has some phallic tendencies to be true, you know. So let's be true to ourselves. Wet your brush, and let's just take some yellow and some white together and begin to cover the canvas with the yellow and white. I'm going to go from the center out. Oh, look, it made stripes. I didn't expect that. But I'm going to go from the center out at first, like this. Look at that. Look what that did. Interesting. So I had yellow and white on there, and I just went from the center to each corner. And now I'm going to take the brush and smush it down. Let me try to, there we go. Let's put that there. Can you see that good? Okay, so I'm going to smush it down in the middle and then just make it in a circle. You know, and painting is like life. We're making it up as we go along. We get to choose what our autonomous character looks like, who we want to be in. Okay, so we're light. We are light. We're all just light. We're light. We're all just rainbows pretending to be humans. So let's take a moment, if you will, and load your palette with the other colors of the rainbow. So we have yellow, so we'll also need red and orange. And those would be our warm spectrum side of the colors. Let's get all the spectrum on here. Oh, do you hear that? Spending time in nature is so healing. I'm really grateful for this opportunity to be sitting outside with you all and not be sweating. It's been a very sweaty summer. We also have purple and blue, yellow, orange, red, purple, blue, and we also need green. And just a little squirt of each. You know, this paint goes a long way. Let's get some green here. I need a green. Here's a green. So whatever you grabbed is good. I wonder how many of you have read this chapter. And if you have, just let me know. I just read it again this morning. It's really potent, important information for my child artist self and where I am on my personal journey at this significant time in history. And interesting to me that we are all here at the same time, and blessings to all of us, you know. Take a deep breath. So we're all just trying to find balance. I am an artist, and as an artist, I'm reading now from The Artist Way, Chapter 11, Recovering a Sense of Autonomy. And the first part we're going to talk about is acceptance. And we're learning to think that we are all artists. So as an artist, we may need a different mix of stability and flow from others. We must experiment with what works for us individually to find balance. As I'm here reading to you from The Artist Way, I'm going to ask you to get another paintbrush, and I will grab one myself. Let's see, I have this little packet here that are ones that I like using on the regular, my favorites. And maybe you have your favorite brushes too that you would like to use one of. I'm looking for a flat brush. The one I'm finding is a little wider than I wanted, but it's nice and flat, so it's the one I'm going to use. So I got a nice flat brush here, and we've loaded our palette with all the colors of the rainbow. What I'm going to do is start with purple, a little white, a little purple on my palette. Let's mix those together to make a light purple. Lavender, yeah. She's like a rainbow, you know that song. So here's our spot of light from whence we came. Now let's make the container which we live in. So let's determine for yourself which is the bottom, which is the top. And then we're going to imagine our physical form, the body that we autonomously live in, and the size and the shape of it we know so well. And I'm going to try to do it upside down so y'all can see. So I'm going to put myself right in the spot of light here, and I'm going to start with, let's put my head, I always just start with an oval. So there's the head, is an oval. Now what are my arms doing? They're reaching for it, you know. I want my container that is me to be as open and as free as possible in this painting. So I want my arms up, and I want, and then coming down from my arms, I want my legs spread wide like that. So there's my arms and legs. Now what about that torso? Well, let me get a little more purple and I will show you. You don't have to do yours yet, just because you want to see what's going to happen here. So you want the container to be empty at this point. So you want to draw the outer shape of your torso connected to your neck and to your legs. Do you see what? And then you mirror it on the other side. So there's the hourglass that is me. And I'm going to take some white with my purple again. Just give me a second now. And here, and like with life, and like with driving, you do what you know is next. I'm misguided. I show up with no clue what we're going to do, but I let the words and the breeze and all the things and spirit and the breath tell me which way to go. So I'm going to look at my painting a minute and just outline that so I can give you a better understanding of what we're going for. So we want an open container. You want to be able to fill your container with all the wonderful things that make you you. So first, you just take your patient time creating this beautiful container that is you. Think of yourself as a hollow space, a vase. There is that place where your legs come together. Now we're imagining, okay, so this is all I'm doing here. I'm seeing already it's starting to look like a butterfly, right? So go ahead and take your time doing that, and then once you have that in purple, what I'd like you to do is just clean that brush some. Now think about the next color of the rainbow, and as I talk, I'd like you to go around the outer side with the next color, which is blue. Just use the thin end of that brush, and just keep tracing that shape that is you. So we're going to do blue and go all the way around on the outside. You can make it as light as you want to. You could make it lighter on one side, darker on the other. On those arms, let's see something. Let me see something. Maybe just put the blue on the bottom. You can overlap that purple some like I just did if you want to. That's kind of nice. I like that. And then, yeah, let's do blue all the way around. All the sides. Let's do all the sides. She's like a rainbow. She comes in colors everywhere. It's in her hair. And then you go to green. If you don't know that song, that's the Rolling Stones. She's like a rainbow. Great song. All right, so go ahead and do green, yellow, orange, red. Do all the colors of the rainbow. You can get a thinner brush if you want to, so you can do that as thin as you want. You could do however you want to do that, but go ahead and do that while you continue to breathe. And talk about I'm going to talk about your artist self. I'm going to read to you now. I have to free myself from determining my value and the value of my work by my work's market value. The idea that money validates my credibility is very hard to shake. I agree with that. I must learn that as an artist, my credibility lies with me, God, and my work. In other words, if I have a poem to write, I need to write that poem. It doesn't matter whether I sell it or not. I need to create what wants to be created. I cannot plan a career to unfold in a sensible direction dictated by cash flow and marketing strategies. Those things are fine, but too much attention on them can stifle the child within who gets scared and angered when continually put off and told to wait. And you begin to feel like your creative endeavors don't matter, which feels like you don't matter because you are your creations, aren't you? So what it means is letting the artist have quality time, knowing that if I let it do what it wants to, it will cooperate with me doing what I need to do. Sometimes I will write badly, draw badly, paint badly, perform badly. I have a right to do that to get to the other side. Creativity is its own reward. Doing the thing, writing the song, singing the song, doing the dance is its own reward. Making the painting is its own reward. Wait till you see what you're going to do today with this painting. Just keep going around. No thought necessary. Keep breathing deeply. I'm doing green right now. Don't worry. Don't be looking for perfection. Just quickly with the green. My friend Kylie used to always say, with the quickness. Yes, with the quickness. Just go around. And then after the green, do yellow. And then after the yellow, do orange. You know, you just do the next thing. You don't ever know all the things, and you're never going to, you know? You do the next thing that's right for the autonomous you that you are. And the same in this creative process that we're doing right now. We just came to have fun, remember? If you start to get nervous or the voice in your head starts to talk too loud, take some deep breaths. I'll read 2 minutes now. As an artist, I must be very careful to surround myself with people who nurture my artists. I'm going to move this water, maybe. Not people who try to overly domesticate it for my own good. Yeah, I hope people have tried to domesticate me. It doesn't work out. To a large degree, and I'm reading now, but this is also true for me. To a large degree, my life is my art. And when it gets dull, so does my work. When I get bored, angry, my work becomes boring too. I'm going around with the yellow now, making the container. That is my autonomous shining light being self. Just going around with yellow. Maybe I can put that on my page. As an artist, my self-respect comes from doing the work. It comes from showing up to do the thing, one creative companions group at a time. That is how I share my art as a lighthouse for other artists. And if you know, you know. I'll be sharing my art at Lighthouse Recovery starting on August 10th. I'm really excited about this new opportunity. Watch yourself when new opportunities present themselves. How do you behave? Do you seize the moment? Do you seize the opportunity? Do you run away and find the next hidey hole out of fear of the unknown? Out of fear of your autonomous self being seen? Look, we're butterflies. We're light. We're meant to shine. Just go around with the yellow, and when you finish with the yellow, go around with the orange. I hope you can see what I'm doing there, but you know, and you feel like, oh, is that sloppy? Yeah, so it gets refined if I want it to, or maybe it stays sloppy. You know, throughout it all, daily, I show up. I show up to do the thing in an effort. This is me talking, not reading right now, you know. With my PTSD and the trauma that has been me, becoming me at this point in history, I need to take a lot of deep breaths. And I need to do the things that I talk about in the artist way, and the things that I have learned to do that help me feel better. And one of them is the morning pages, and showing up to do the practice of just writing in my journal 3 pages daily. What do I write about? Well, different. It's different every day, of course, and it's none ya. And it's none of anybody's business if I do and what I write. And if I want to look back at it and discover things about myself, that's up to me. And if someday I want to share those writings, that's up to me. In the artist way, utilizing, and I've been writing morning pages since my son was born, and he's 31 now. So that's 31 years, every morning, committed to my higher self, myself, period. What I think matters most, how I feel matters most to me, and so should it to you, for you, you know? Doing things the way you do. Check it out, check it out, check it out. Take a deep breath. Okay, so I'm going to move on here in a second to red. Recovering a sense of autonomy. To a large degree, life is art. There you go. To a large degree, life is art. And when it gets dull, well, we need to polish our mirrors. We need to shine ourselves up. So we do that by showing up, doing the morning pages, write about the rotten stuff that's going on. Get it out, you know? As an artist, I do not need to be rich, but I do need to be richly supported, she says. If I don't create, I get crabby. This is so true for me. This whole chapter is so true for me. The job of the artist is always to deepen the mystery, says Francis Bacon. I like Bacon. I don't know who Francis Bacon is, but I like what he said. The job of the artist is always to deepen the mystery. The mystery that is you. As an artist, I can literally die from boredom. I don't like that sentence, though. The more I nurture my artist child, the more adult I am able to appear. Spoiling my artist means that it will let me do the adulting. And ignoring my artist means a grinding depression, and this is true. Expression is the remedy for depression. I say to mother, and our artist self is a toddler, and I say to mothers of toddlers, which I was a mother of toddlers myself and lived with many toddlers, spend one-on-one time with that toddler the first time you encounter them during the day. The rest of the day they'll let you be a grown-up and they'll toddler away and do their own thing. One day they'll fly away and not be a toddler anymore. And all the joy you'll feel when you entertain that toddler first thing. They'll feel joy, and so will you. So same with your artist self, and same with getting old. You know, you think what are you, too old to sit down and play with the paint now? You too good for that? Get out the brushes, do your thing. It don't matter how old you are, and see. These are the things, and make note and pay attention. These are the things that bring me joy personally, like this breeze. Oh, baby. Thank you. I feel like the breeze is my dad. encouraging me. You know, when we're hating ourselves, we'll lash out at others. Notice. If I sabotage my artists, I can well expect a binge, a temper binge. When we're not creating, artists are not always very normal or very nice to ourselves or others. Take out the words artists. When we are not creating, when we are not daringly showing up in our life to create something new and meaningful, we become not very normal and not very nice. Creativity, expressing ourselves, is oxygen for our souls, she says. Oxygen for our souls. Take a deep breath there. Oh, hi, Robin. I love you so much. I'm so glad you're here. Sam, I'm really glad you're here. I appreciate so much knowing that I have support out there in the world. Creativity is like oxygen for our souls. Cutting off our... Here, I'm just going to let you look at what we got going on here. If you want to make a painting, we just started with the... There it is. Anyway, I'm going to read this. Please breathe in and out deeply as I read and listen. I'm listening to. Creativity is oxygen for our souls. Cutting off our creativity makes us savage. We react like we're being choked. There is a real rage that surfaces when we are interfered with on a level that involves picking lint off of us and fixing us up. When well-meaning parents and friends push marriage or 9 to 5 or anything on us that doesn't evolve in a way that allows for our art to continue, we will react as if we are fighting for our lives, and we are. Fighting for our very souls. To be an artist is to risk admitting that much of what is money, property, and prestige strikes you as just a little bit silly. I just want to say, it is my hope that everyone, as a human, that it would strike you as a little bit silly that we're supposed to be chasing money and property and prestige. What are all of those things anyway? To be an artist is to acknowledge the astonishing. It is to allow the wrong piece in the room if we like it. It is to hang on to that weird coat that makes us happy. It is to not keep trying to be something we aren't. Stop trying to be something you're not. If you're happier writing than not writing, painting than not painting, singing than not singing, acting than not acting, directing than not directing, for God's sakes, and I mean that literally, let yourself do that thing. To kill your dreams because they are irresponsible is to be irresponsible to yourself. Credibility lies within you and your creator, not a vote from your friends and acquaintances, not even from your spouse, not even from your mom. Their opinions of you don't matter. How you feel matters most. And realizing that what you think has a direct effect on what you feel and how you feel. Maybe we can learn to be more careful with our thoughts. Thoughts become things. Thoughts become words. Like success. She's going to talk about success next. What is success anyway? So, I'm going to put my brush in the water. I got a little excited, so let's take some deep breaths here. I'm glad you're still with me, all of you who are. We are creating our autonomous selves as a light being, as a rainbow, as a butterfly, as a weed who has grown from a seed and transformed into an autonomous one character, brand new in this moment, this now. We're going to go to the heart of the matter now. And because we're healing out loud here on Creative Companions, and it is my notion that I have that healing is green, we're going to go make a green heart next. So We're going to take care and time and thoughtfully take some deep breaths again, remembering that all is meditation. No hurry, no worry. We're here to master peace, not create a masterpiece, though we may create a masterpiece. I'm going to take a smaller brush and dip it in the water a little. That breeze is continuing, and for that I am grateful. Showing up in a state of gratitude. Creativity is a spiritual practice. It's not something that can be perfected, finished, and set aside. We're all works in progress. Yes, we are successful. Yes, we have made it. We've made it to right here, right now. I'm going to get a little white and a little green on my brush. And we're going to go to the heart of me, and we're going to make a heart that extends out to where my boobs are, where I put my boobs. Now you can do, oh, look at that, it goes right down my center. See that? There's my heart. Now I'm going to take some yellow, because we are light after all, and I'm going to make a spiral. That's fun, hey? Inside that heart. I'm going to take some more yellow. I'm just going to make the shape of the heart, keeping that green, healing on the outside, spiraling on the inside. Isn't that beautiful? Did you have any idea you're going to make something so beautiful today? You know, and you can show up in whatever mood you're in and grab a piece of cardboard and you're all the colors of the rainbow. And sit and breathe. And just let something flow out of you. Maybe you're thinking about something. You probably are. Where are we going? What are we going to do now, says Julia. Well, where we're going disappears when you're in the now. As artists, we are travelers. We're spiritual sharks. The ruthless truth is that if we don't keep moving, we sink to the bottom. The choice is very simple. We can insist on resting on our laurels, or we can begin anew every day. The stringent requirement of a sustained creative life is the humility to start again and to begin anew. Do you know that right now I have a new counselor who I'm liking so much, and the place that he works for is called Anew. Anew. I gotta move my leg. Know that when you're doing yoga, when you're meditating, if your leg falls asleep, move it. Movement is going to be something we're going to talk about here soon in this chapter. So as artists, we are travelers. Edward Hopper says, no amount of skillful invention can replace the essential element of imagination. And we each have our own imagination station. That's what makes us autonomous beings. We have our own imagination station that has been fed by everything we have experienced, seen, touched, tasted, smelled, heard. All of it's in there, in our imagination station. And our broken hearts are in there too. And we can take those broken hearts and make them into art. So if you'd like to depict your art, your heart here is broken. I didn't, because we're growing. Maybe let's make a little green seed at the center of that spiral that indicates our little, oh look, mine made like a little embryo seed like. Isn't this interesting? Listen to this next sentence I had underlined. It is to say that many creatives laboring is physical settings should remember to commit themselves not only to projects that smack of sure things, but also to those riskier projects that call to your creative soul. Writing your morning pages, take your artist date. But you say, people depend on me. This is all the more reason to depend on yourself and to protect your own creativity. Attempting to ensure our finances by playing it safe, we lose our cutting edge creatively. We must summon our enthusiasm instead of reveling in each day's creative task. Oh, we think we must summon our enthusiasm in a threatening way, instead of just reveling in the fact that, and being grateful for the fact that we get to show up for the creative process of another day, alive, alert, and aware, here in this place. So take some deep breaths. Most blocked creatives are cerebral beings. We think of all the things we want to do but can't. Early in recovery, we think of all the things we want to do but don't. In order to effect a real recovery, one that lasts, we need to move out of the head and into the body of work. To do this, we must first of all move into the body. Again, this is a matter that it requires acceptance. Creativity requires action, and part of that action must be physical. You know, I just said the other day, okay, at some point you got to put down your phone and do the damn thing. I have an issue with my phone right now. I admit it. Let me read some more. It's one of the pitfalls of Westerners adopting Eastern meditation techniques is to bliss out and render ourselves high but dysfunctional. We lose our grounding, and with it, our capacity to act in the world. In the pursuit of higher consciousness, we render ourselves unconscious in a new way. Well, exercise combats this spiritually induced dysfunction. Returning to the notion of ourselves as spiritual radio sets, we need enough energy to raise a strong signal. So this is where walking comes in. What we're after here is a moving meditation. This means where the act of motion puts us into the now and helps us to stop spinning, helps us to get out of this spiral in our heads. 20 minutes a day is sufficient. The object is to stretch your mind more than your body, so there doesn't need to be an emphasis on fitness, although eventually fitness is a likely result. The goal is to connect to a world outside of us, to lose the obsessive self-focus and simply explore. One quickly notes that when the mind is focused on other, the self often comes into a far more accurate focus. Roger Bannister, on Breaking the 4-Minute Mile, says, "No longer conscious of my movement, I discovered a new unity with nature. I had found a new source of power and beauty, a source I never dreamed existed." By simply walking somewhere that you usually drive, or riding your bike somewhere that you usually drive, you will experience it in such a more profound way. The environment, I mean. The air, the trees, the nature, the planet, the oneness. You'll get out of your head. You'll slow down. I take it for a walk, you know. So this PTSD thing, and I've been really, well, you're all here at the same time as me, you know. The world is very triggering right now, and there's so much to become upset about. And so I don't want to exist in this energy of being upset. So I'm continually working to regulate my nervous system. One way I do that is by wearing my shawl and taking deep breaths. And when the feeling gets real big, you may see me walk off really fast. And I just take it for a walk. Once I was taking it for a walk and I came upon a friend and she said, "Do you need to go to the woods to scream?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Let's go." And we locked arms and we went to the woods and we screamed as loud as we could. That felt better too. I wanted to read you this. If your hand's still moving, that's great. If you're still painting, if you want to just pause for a second, see if you feel comfortable, relaxed in this now. As you listen, I just really like this little passage here that she wrote. It says, It's 6:30 a.m. when the great blue heron stirs from its resting place in the short grasses and rises above the river on huge rhythmic wings. The bird sees Jenny down below. Jenny, down below, sees the bird. The pumping of her legs carries her in an effortless floating stride. Her spirit soars up to the heron and chirps, "Hello, good morning, lovely, isn't it?" At this time, in this place, they are kindred spirits. Both are wild and free and happy in their motion, in the movements of the winds, the clouds, and the trees. The wind was blowing as I read that, and it felt so good to have the winds caress, because you know that's my dad. Oh, there's a bird fluttering there. In the trees. We have no clouds here where I am. To help me be more present in the now, that's one thing I like to write in my morning pages in my journal, is what I see right now, what I hear right now, what I feel right now, what I smell right now, to fully submerge myself in this now. Taking a deep breath, let me read you this quote by the Buddha. To keep the body in good health is a duty. Otherwise, we shall not be able to keep our mind strong and clear. It's all connected, folks. Exercise teaches us the rewards of process. It teaches us the sense of satisfaction over small tasks well done. Everybody, Sarah says, here in this body are the sacred rivers. Here in this body that you created on the canvas, inside of it are the sacred rivers, and the sun and the moon, as well as all the pilgrimage places. I have not encountered another temple as blissful as my own body. Isn't that great? Thinking of your body as a temple, treating myself as a precious object makes it so. You know, in working with that affirmation, I realize how often I've been manhandled in this life and not treated as a precious object by others, and treated with abuse, treated with harshness, not treated with tender, loving care. And then realizing that trained me not to treat myself with tender, loving care. Sometimes I act as if I'm not even there. I act as if I'm invisible. I act as if I don't matter. This is what we're learning not to do. My big heart space matters most. Let me read to you a minute. Let me start you with another process on this painting before I read you this next thing. So let's get a brush we haven't used yet, and it needs to be very dry, because we're going to just do some dry brushing light. So I'm going to just use white. I'm going to put the white on the brush, and then oh, Robin, I would love to be there and live paint and do a workshop, you know, if I'm up to it. I'm just regrouping right now and restructuring things. So we have white on the brush. Let's make it as dry as possible. But Robin, call me sometime. I'd love to chat. I'd love to chat with all of y'all. Anyway, okay, white. A little white on the brush. We're bringing the light now. I'm going to go around this heart first with the white. You see? We're going to just go all the way around it with the white. And we're healing from the inside out. Most highest regards for ourselves and how we feel. Loving ourselves so much. So the light's going to come from within. So we're going to take that brush. And as you see, I have it dry. And I'm wiping off most of the paint so that it just makes a bumpy light. You see? And you can make that, oh, let's make it go around the spiral. So I take the brush, I put the paint on, I wipe some off, and then I'm going to go around the spiral from the inside out, and then I'm going to continue to make these lights. And you could use some yellow. I think I'd like to use some yellow. Let's brighten this up. Let's mix some yellow and some white together. You know, we never know what we're going to do next. We never know what's going to happen next. Life is a series of hurdles. That's the sentence I had highlighted next. Now they are hurdles and challenges. How well are we taking the hurdles and challenges? Part of this learned creative patience has to do with connecting to a sense of universal creativity. Riding, my rational mind switches off. She's talking about riding her bike. I'm reduced to feeling, to being a participant. When you ride through a field of grass and little flecks of fluff from the wheat ears float around you, the feeling makes your heart sing. When a rooster tail of snow sparkles in the sun in your wake, that makes your heart sing. These moments of intense feeling have taught me to be aware of other moments in my life as they occur. When I feel that singing feeling with a man and know that I have also felt it in a field of grass, in a field of snow, then I know what is really my own capacity to feel that I am celebrating. It's my own capacity to feel passion that we're celebrating. It's not only the sense of communion with nature or with another that creates a singing in my heart. An endorphin-induced natural high is one of the byproducts of exercise itself. As an artist, walking offers the added benefits of sensory saturation. Things do not whiz by, we really see them. In a sense, insight follows from more sight. Insight follows from sight. Insight comes from actually seeing and being submerged in the now. Thank you for saying you love my work, Tiny. I'm glad you're here in this now with us. Much love, everybody. Oh, you... Okay, I see. Oh, I'm showing the wrong side of my painting. So we're just bringing the light now. You can always watch these videos on my YouTube channel or by Kim Keffer the day after. So as an artist, walking offers the added benefit of sensory saturation. Things do not whiz by. We really see them. In a sense, insight follows from sight. We fill the well and later tap it more easily. We fill the well by simply being and sitting still or riding our bike. We're taking a walk. We're doing yoga. It's all meditation. As we said before, we learn by going where we have to go. Exercise is often the going that moves us from stagnation to inspiration, from problem to solution, from self-pity to self-respect. We do learn by going. We learn we are stronger than we thought. We learn to look at things with a new perspective. We learn to solve our problems by tapping our own inner resources and listening for inspiration, not only from others, but from ourselves. Seemingly, without effort, our answers come while we swim, or stride, or ride, or paint, or run, or do yoga, or rest, or stare at the water, or swim, or cook. By definition, this is one of the fruits of exercise, and exercise is the act of bringing into play or realizing in action. Realizing in action. So morning pages are meditation, a practice that brings you to your creativity and your great creator. In order to stay easily and happily creative, we need to stay centered. And that's either easier to do if we allow ourselves to create centering rituals. That smells good, Aubrey. Aubrey has food. When you're very present in the now, you smell the smells. You're aware, alive, alert, and aware now. I'm going to continue with this dry brushing with the white and just brighten up and continue to brighten up this heart space and make the light rays coming from within. You can go straight up through the head because we are not interested in thinking a lot of thoughts. We're interested in how we feel. And if we are thinking thoughts, are they thoughts that help us feel better? And if not, perhaps we could choose some new ones. Oh, I think this is a good space I have over here to possibly write an affirmation. For us to stay happily and easily creative, we need to heal. And we come up with rituals all of our own to do that. It is Here's a reminder, an acknowledgement of the fact that our Creator unfolds our creativity. We can fill our own artist space with things that make us happy. Your artist is fed by images and things that you see. So it should be your artist space should be a sensory experience. Things you can touch, things you can smell, rocks, candles, feathers. These are things I have in my artist space. So I'm going to read a second here from The Artist's Way. Small rituals, self-devised, are good for the soul. Burning incense while reading affirmations or writing them, lighting a candle, dancing to a drum, holding a smooth rock and listening to chants, all of these tactile physical techniques reinforce growth of the human. Remember, the artist child speaks in the language of the soul, which is music, dance, scents, seashells, feathers, ladybugs. So your artist altar should be fun to look at. Your artist space. Don't call it an altar if that's not comfortable for you. Your artist space should be fun, even silly. Remember how much little kids like gaudy stuff. Speaking of gaudy stuff, I have some glitter paint. Maybe you have some glitter or some gold paint or fluorescent paint. Let's grab something like that. Shiny. I'm looking for shiny. Take some deep breaths wherever you are. Let me know you're still here with me. We're going to wrap up this painting in a second. Where is my glitter paint? Here it is. So I like having these kind of glitter craft paints around to add some sparkle to things when you need to. Here, I'm going to take this glitter paint. I'm not even going to take it out of the thing. I'm just going to use it right in there. Hi, Aiden. You riding your red bike? That's my grandson riding his red bike. Back and forth. It's a nice day here. Not so stupid hot like it had been. That was exhausting. But we're here now in this present moment with some glitter. And I just globbed a bunch of it on the brush. And because I really like this idea of a spiral Martian, I'm going to go around a spiral first of my heart there. And I'm sitting in the shade right now, so when I get out in the sun in a little while, I will shine more, and so will my painting. So we can just put some glitter here and there. And when we finish our paintings today, let's take a picture of them and post them so we all can see. If you feel it's brave to share your work, you know, we're being brave and trying new things. But the point is that we're all following this guided painting today and doing a painting together. They'll all be different. Every one of them. And that's because we're autonomous beings. And we can only create what we can create based on the tools that we have, which are the experiences that we've had. I'm going to go around the outline of my character, which ended up not with the hourglass shape that's in the inside, but quite like a butterfly. Perhaps we're all rainbows and butterflies after all. Your butterfly self is showing itself. I'm proud of you for showing up. The Artist's Way is a 12-week course, and some of us have been at it for 12 weeks. It's really fun to see all the art that you created during the 12 weeks of the Artist's Way all together as one. This does bring us to the end of the chapter on autonomy. And next week we will be reading about Chapter 12, Recovering a Sense of Faith. And I just want to read you the first sentence on that chapter. It says, adventure does not begin until you get into the forest. That first step is an act of faith. And that's by Mickey Hart, the Grateful Dead drummer. I love you all so much. I appreciate you for showing up. I'm going to look for, or maybe treating myself as a precious object makes it so. I think that's what I'll write there. Our base affirmation. But maybe there's another affirmation that works for you. Or maybe you want to write, "We are light." Whatever you want, you know? It's your art. When you finish it, and when I finish mine, we'll sign it and date it. I'll take a picture of it and post it. And then also Art by Kim Keffer on YouTube. You can see all the past videos. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Tell your friends. I don't know how to get the Facebook followers to transfer into YouTube subscribers, but I'd love to have more subscribers. So Art by Kim Keffer on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. Tell your friends to subscribe to my channel. There's lots of good videos there. There's even a playlist of granny painting with river. Those are ones you could do with your grandchildren or children or class, you know. And yes, Robin, if you'd like me to come teach a workshop at your event, let me know. I am sorry to say, in an effort to... Okay, I'm going to start over. I regretted having to cancel several events recently because of needing rest. The heat and my age really, and things, lots of things really were weighing on me and making it just in my best interest to take some time off. And that's out of the norm for me. And I am proud of myself for doing what I needed to do. But haters are going to hate and say, "Oh, now she's a no-shower," whatever. I appreciate everybody who still continues to support and believe in me, as I am a work in progress, as are you. And I love showing up to create with everyone. So, yeah, hopefully next Sunday, you know. But I'll let you know when the next time I'm going to be live is, because I haven't been real consistent this time with showing up. But we are going to be on week 12 next time we gather, and that will conclude the Artist Way for this round. So I'm proud of you for showing up. That's the first step in a creative recovery. You know, and if you're recovering from an addiction, use your creative process as a replacement for that addictive act. When you feel the urge to go towards that addiction, create instead. And that could be playing your guitar, kicking the hacky sack, making a pot of soup, making a painting, whatever it is. You know, I love you so much. May this week bless us all with expansion and yellow butterflies. That's how you say yellow.